Welcome back to Bike Extraction, where we don't just talk about motorcycles, we uncover the stories behind them, the legends, the machines, and the myths that shaped biking culture. The Yamaha Rajdoot 350 wasn't just a motorcycle. It was a paradox, wildly powerful yet commercially doomed, ahead of its time yet forgotten too soon. For some it was a dream machine, for others a nightmare. But for everyone, it was unforgettable. The Rajdoot 350 was born out of collaboration between Yamaha Japan and Escorts India. In the late 1970s, Yamaha's RD350 was already a cult classic worldwide, feared and admired for its two-stroke aggression. Escorts secured the license to build it in India, rebranding it as the Rajdoot 350 in 1983. The bike arrived in a market dominated by economical commuters like the Bajaj Chetak scooter, the Bullet 350, and the upcoming Hero Honda CD100. The Rajdoot was a different species altogether, offering riders an exotic taste of Japanese performance. At its heart was a 347 cubic centimeters, air-cooled, parallel twin two-stroke engine with twin carburetors and reed valve induction. Yamaha produced two versions for India, the high torque, HT, making about 30.5 brake horsepower, and the low torque, LT, tuned down to about 27 brake horsepower. The LT variant was introduced because authorities and escorts believed the HT was too dangerous for Indian roads. But even the detuned version was ferocious compared to the 7 to 8 brake horsepower that most commuter bikes offered then. Performance numbers made the Rajdoot almost alien in India's motorcycling landscape. A 0 to 60 km per hour sprint in under 7 seconds, a top speed crossing 130 km per hour, and an exhaust note that screamed instead of thumped. Riders who grew up on humble single-cylinder engines suddenly had access to a pocket rocket that demanded skill and bravery. For some, it was intoxicating. For others, terrifying. But the Rajdoot's brilliance quickly became its downfall. Fuel consumption was catastrophic for its time. Where the Hero Honda CD100 returned over 60 kmpl, the Rajdoot often delivered less than 20 kmpl if ridden hard. In a country where fuel economy was king and salaries were modest, this became a huge barrier. The very performance that made the bike special also made it impractical for the masses. Braking was another sore point. Yamaha had equipped the bike with drum brakes at both ends, with a twin leading shoe at the front. On paper it sounded advanced, but in real-world conditions, it struggled to match the Rajdoot's speed. Riders often joked that it could go from 0 to 100 km per hour in seconds, but stopping it safely took more courage than accelerating. This mismatch between performance and safety haunted its reputation. Then came the maintenance puzzle. Unlike the simple commuter singles, the Rajdoot was a sophisticated twin. Carb synchronization, oil mixing, and frequent tuning were all essential to keep it running at peak performance. But India in the 1980s lacked trained mechanics for such machines. Many bikes suffered from neglect, poor tuning, and botched repairs. Owners who couldn't afford meticulous care quickly grew frustrated, and word spread that the Rajdoot was unreliable, even though the real issue was a lack of technical support. Despite these flaws, the Rajdoot 350 became a cult classic. Its twin exhausts, aggressive stance, and spine-tingling two-stroke crackle gave it a magnetic aura. Enthusiasts who mastered it swore by its thrill, describing it as a bike that could make your pulse race like nothing else. Over time, it became a symbol of rebellion and exclusivity, owned not by the masses, but by those willing to embrace its wild nature. Today, the Rajdoot 350 lives on as a legend. Restored examples are prized possessions, often passed between collectors at high prices. Clubs and forums keep the spirit alive, and whispers of a Yamaha revival continue to stir excitement. If a modern Rajdoot returns, it would likely be a 4-stroke machine built to meet today's efficiency and safety standards. But the original 2-stroke Rajdoot 350 will always remain one of the purest, rawest expressions of motorcycling ever seen in India, an untamed machine that burned bright and left its mark forever.